Okay, everybody, welcome to the Science of Business Networking, Networking Mastery. This is the Gold/Power Partner Program. This is episode number 2. Let me give you a couple recommendations. I highly recommend that you watch CD number 1 first before you watch this one. It'll help give you a nice setup for what we're working on today. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend you watch it. Now, those of you that are on live, don't sign off. Just hopefully you've seen the first one. This is the second one. In this webinar, we're going to look at how to come up with the list of our power partners, and then moving forward to the next webinar, webinar number 3, will be how to find them, how to meet them, the approach, the scripting, everything that I've used to set up 4,000 coffee meetings. So today, we got to figure out who your power partners are, giving you all the strategies I've ever used to figure out who they are. I've got a list here of what you all do, and if anybody else signs on, I'll work on getting theirs also. All right, so welcome to webinar number 2. I want you to feel free to email me at any time during the live webinar at rick@b2bgathering.com, or I want you to type on the screen. I prefer if you typed on the screen, but if you want to email me, feel free. There might be a couple times here where I'm going to ask you to do something quickly, real time. So those of you that are on live right now, I want you to be ready to type to me and to take a lot of notes, okay? All right. So once again, I'm Rick Silva, President and Founder of B2B Gathering. I run business networking groups, teach business networking and referral generation. Welcome to Business Networking Mastery Volume 2. So we're going to do just a brief recap of the last webinar, and then we'll get into figuring out who your power partners are. So one of the things we discussed, the difference between a coach and a consultant, without going into great detail. A coach empowers you and motivates you to do the things you already know how to do. They keep you on task. They keep you on point. They keep you motivated. You already know what you need to do. They help pull it out and get you to do it. Now, a consultant is what I think I am. I'm not really somebody who's going to keep you on task and keep you on point. A consultant is somebody who teaches you things that you don't already know. So I definitely consider myself to be a consultant and not a coach. Okay, so if you see the top where it says the job of a networker, professional networkers do not look for clients. They look for the people that already have them, which is the whole point of this course, is to teach you how to find people who already have your client. They'll hand them to you on a silver platter if you do the same for them. Okay, so there's a lot of different ways to build your business. There's a lot of different terminology. You've probably heard most of these either from me or just the 10,000 people who are sending out emails like this constantly. There's affiliate marketing, there's private labeling, there's joint venturing, there's strategic alliancing, and there's power partnering. This entire course is on power partnering, so I'm not going to go into too much detail on the other ones. Power partnering goes by many names like power partner, collaborative partner, circle of influence. Some people call it a POI. But what it is introducing each other to each other's clients. So you have other professionals out there. They have clients and you have clients, and it's a method of introducing your clients to each other at a specified time to solve a specific problem, or you're bringing in other professionals to help you serve each other's clients better. We'll get into more detail on that. Again, it's very thoroughly explained in the first webinar. Also, some of the things power partnering is used for: to find customers, to refer customers to your power partners, to receive customers from power partners, to refer non-customers to power partners. There might be a time where you talk to someone and you can't serve them. You're either not qualified to do it, or it's just a wrong type of client, and you can refer them to other competitors. You might be an attorney that does bankruptcies, and this person needs a business attorney, and you refer that person to a business attorney. They're not even a client, but you're still serving them. What you're doing there is you're serving the client, so hopefully they spread the word about you. You're also bringing in other attorneys to serve these people, building rapport and reciprocity with those other attorneys as an example. When you do this power partnering properly, you receive customers from other customers because they are so happy that you're serving them and bringing all these professionals to them, they start spreading the word for you. You introduce power partners to other power partners. That we'll get to probably 1 or 2 webinars from now, where you're actually introducing your sphere to your sphere. Okay? You can find a job. You can attain clients at the lowest cost of time and money. Find better and higher paying clients. Gives you more time to serve your clients, and we'll get into that. That's kind of my favorite part about this, is giving you more time to serve clients. Now, Evelyn, you just signed on. Evelyn, I need you to do me a favor and find a place to email staff. Find my name, Rick Silva, and I need you to type on there what you do. Even though I know what you do, I want you to type on there what you do for a living, what kind of clients you're looking for. Okay. All right. So other benefits: use Power Partner to get the decision makers. There are people who already have your client. This works great, especially if you're calling on larger companies. You can use another vendor to get in. For example, if you do IT where you fix computers and they're already working with a software vendor or a CPA or somebody that does, let's say, computer wiring, that person's already a vendor of theirs. That person could walk you into that client that you've been trying to get into cold and just, get you a face-to-face with the decision maker. So again, use Power Partner to get the decision makers, other Power Partners, and give and receive referrals. Allows you to spend more time servicing your clients and less time looking for them. The goal is to find a solution to a problem. Your client has a problem. Either you can solve it, or maybe you know someone who can. You're going to provide information or answers. You're going to help in locating just that right person who can take a great idea and actually help make it reality. Somebody has an idea, a certain type of a product that they want to release, and they need help. They need a fulfillment company, or they need a coach, and it's your responsibility to help them find these people. Okay? Again, Evelyn, if you can type on the screen, you need to find, it's going to say questions, it's going to say staff. I need you to type on the screen what you do, okay? So Power Partner is the single most important concept you must master in order to build a referral-based practice. I'll probably say that on every webinar we do. It's the most important concept you have got to master in order to build a referral-based practice. Again, the foundation of this whole program is in CD number 1 in the Mastery course. If you haven't listened to it, I highly recommend you listen to that one, then go over this one again, and you'll hear things that you might hear me say it today, but you'll hear it a different way if you go through that first CD. So one of my favorite teachers of all time is Napoleon Hill. He's written so many books, we don't have time to get into all his books. Think and Grow Rich is the main one. I found a video of his on YouTube, and I've tried to live my life by this. Now, what I did is I watched the video and I transcribed it word for word, and I'm going to read it to you, okay? So this is a word-for-word transcription from Napoleon Hill. It was probably done in the 50s or 60s. So here it is. This is from Napoleon Hill. I'm going to offer you a suggestion which may bring you such overwhelming success that you will not need to attend further visits with me. My suggestion is this. First, start tomorrow in whatever occupation you are engaged to render some form of useful service to someone near you which you are not expected to render and for which you neither ask nor expect compensation. And secondly, render this service in a pleasing mental attitude which will show clearly that you enjoy doing it. And 3, follow this action 7 days in succession, and then notice what a changed atmosphere you will enjoy in your association with those nearest you. This is one of the supreme secrets that comes with and unlocks the master keys to success. So the first time I read this, I go, man, I'm already doing it. I've been doing it for, at the time I was doing it for 6 or 7 years when I read this. And that is, find people other resources. If you're meeting with somebody and you're an attorney, financial advisor, Dennis is on the webinar today. Dennis is a financial advisor. Figure out what the client needs. Refer him to CPAs, bankers, on and on and on. You're not expecting anything from the client. You're not expecting anything from the CPA or the banker or the coach or the business attorney. You're doing it because you honestly want to help the client, and that's the only reason you're doing it. You're not looking for compensation. Okay, when you can do this, this is the master key to success. This is when referrals and money starts coming and you can't even believe where it's coming from. You have got to learn to help other people and do not ask for anything in return. Okay, that's the key. The definition of a power partner is someone who calls on, sells to, serves, and consults the exact same person you do. I promise you this, there's between 50 and 200 people that have the exact same client you do. They sell to the same people you do. They serve them. They have the exact same client you do. They just don't do what you do. The key to a power partner, again, I'm just going to read it again. I'm going to finish it off with something. Someone who calls on, sells to, serves, and consults the exact same person you do. They just don't do what you do. So now, everyone, this is where we're going to start. Okay, this is it's really a short and sweet webinar. I mean, if I blew through these slides, we'd be done in 15 minutes. But if you've got a pen and paper, I cannot recommend enough that you have a pen and paper in front of you. Okay, and I'm also going to tell you this. In the Science of Business Networking course, the big one with the 14 CDs in it, the first thing I want you to write down is this. I want you to watch CD number 3. Okay, that's a webinar I did. It's an hour on how to craft your elevator speech. CD number 3 in the big case that you have. I want you to watch that. That's a webinar. Also, on the right-hand side, there's a CD that says Elevator Speech Training Volume 1 and Volume 2. Elevator Speech Training Volume 1 and Volume 2. CD number 3, on the left-hand side of your case that says Elevator Speech, again, that's a webinar with all the slides. I want you to watch that one. The one on the right-hand side of the case that says Elevator Speech Training Volume 1 and Volume 2, that's me wearing a green shirt. There's 2 9.5-minute videos. Put that in your computer and watch the 2 videos. Part 4 of your elevator speech, which is who is your client, you need to have that to really, really come up with a giant list of power partners. I'm just going to tell you now, you need a lot of power partners. We're going to go into the numbers here shortly. I want you to write down who has my client. Just write that down. Who has my client? Question mark. So write it down. This is the master key. And then I want you to write down, who do I need to refer to my clients? Who do I need to refer to my clients? Now, if you're sitting there just listening and you're not writing, then maybe this program doubles or triples your income. If you're writing this down and you take some time, see, we only do this 2 a month. You're going to have 2 weeks to work on this. If you write it down and write down the questions I'm going to cover here and you really get it, you could 3, 4, 5, 10-fold your income. If you put in the work, you'll get the returns, I promise. I've done this for a lot of people. So just write down who has my client and who do I need to refer to my clients. You'll see how we put this together as we go, okay? All right. So based on the definition, someone who sells to, serves, consults, and calls on the same person I do, I just want you to write down a number. How many different power partners do you think you could write down? How many different industries of people who already have your clients? As an example, Loretta, for embroidery, it's going to be It's going to be web designers, PR companies. If you do embroidery and you don't do promotional products, it's going to be promotional products people. Okay, those are power partners. Dentist, financial advisor, CPA, banker, estate planning attorney. I'm just giving you a few. Jen, I'm not going to help. Jen Lee, bankruptcy attorney. I bet she already has 50, 75, 100. Lynn, you're a photographer. If it's for individuals and you do weddings, then it's wedding planner, limo driver, people that do wedding cakes. If it's corporate, then it's going to be web designers, PR companies, business coaches, commercial real estate, just to name a few. Bonnie does Legal Shield. So Bonnie, just as many attorneys as you can think of, different types of attorneys. Again, business coaches, payroll, CPAs. Bonnie, the challenge you're going to have in Legal Shield is there are a lot of those industries are covered inside of Legal Shield. You got to find people that you can power partner with that maybe only do one little part of it. Okay, so come up with as many industries as you can. Now, don't worry about making a huge list now, everybody, because we're going to get into the exact way to do it here shortly. Bonnie, for the utility side, if it's for the house, it's residential real estate, it's roofer, it's handyman, on and on and on. If it's commercial, then it's commercial real estate. It's commercial electricians, HVAC, commercial roofing, LED lighting, electricians. All these people have your client right now. Okay, Evelyn's a CPA. Evelyn, I do want to make sure that you know how to type on the screen because there might be other things you want to send to me. So Evelyn, if you can look at staff, find Rick Silva, double-click on it just to let me know you know how to find me. It's important. Evelyn's a CPA. Evelyn's power partners, bankers, business attorneys, financial advisors, payroll, just to name a few. Okay, so I want you just to write down before this program, before you met me, how many power partners could you name by industry? I just want you to write a number down. Most people write down between 1 and 10. That's the average number that most people write down is between 1 and 10. Okay. And then the next question on the screen, how many have you met with and worked with consistently? When I say met with, I mean you're either going to their office, which I don't recommend, them coming to your office, or you meeting in a coffee shop. I do all of mine in a coffee shop. Very, very rare I meet people at their location. And I work out of my house, so normally I meet with them in coffee shops. And then I want you to write down how many coffee meetings are you having per week with those power partners. I'm not talking about clients. I'm talking about spheres of influence that have your client. Again, I'm just going to keep reinforcing this. If you're not writing these answers down and you're just sitting there listening to me, you're going to double your income. If you take notes, you could tenfold your income. And again, I've got a number of people that I can introduce you to that I've tenfolded their income because they put in the work. So, how many power partners can you name? How many have you met with and worked with consistently? And then how many coffee meetings do you average per week? Okay, I'm not gonna tell you the answers, my answers to the first two just yet. But the bottom one, how many coffee meetings per week? This is my opinion. You don't have to do it. My opinion, minimum, and I don't care how busy you are. I don't care how much business you have. It's my opinion that minimum 5 coffee meetings per week. Minimum 5 a week, no matter how busy you are. Multiple reasons for that we'll get into later. Okay. So let's talk about the different levels of mastery. We're going to start on the bottom. Okay, we're going to start on the bottom. Okay. A novice, and then an advanced beginner, then you're competent, then you're proficient, then you're an expert, and then you're a master. Okay, and I think, you know, if you guys have heard other webinars, that when I say rank yourself 1 to 10, that I'm a 9. I don't know that I'll ever be a 10, and I don't know if there's too many 10s in the world that actually exist that have everything down perfectly. I very rarely, you know, rank myself publicly or say, but one thing I'm a master at is this program, without question. Now, I've had over 4,000 coffee meetings. I think most of you know that's pushing probably 4,200 by now. So I'm definitely on the top of the scale in this one, but I want to go over this with you. So let's take a look at it. A novice has very few referrals, spends a lot of time looking for business, and has fairly low income. Now, if this is you, congratulations. Look how far you get to climb. It's awesome. So get excited about it, that you've got a long way to go and your income can only go up. The key to this is where you say where it says very few referrals, and the next sentence says spends a lot of time looking for business. I've said it a million times. I'll say it a million more. I don't think that you should be spending 1 second of the day looking for clients. You teach other people how to find you clients. They hand them to you on a silver platter. So I think you should spend a lot of time meeting power partners and not a lot of time looking for clients. To me, it's a waste of time looking for clients. All right. Advanced beginner, guess what? All of your competitors are right there. And by the way, every one of these levels has a number associated to it, and we're going to get to the numbers here shortly. But an advanced beginner is going after a very low number of power partners, and every one of your competitors is going after the same exact power partners. What I want to do is I want to get you above competent. I want to get you into proficient, expert, and master, because one of the reasons I did this as a pyramid is because the width of the pyramid on the bottom, that's in number of people. There are a lot of people down here that can't hardly name any power partners. That's why they're not doing that well. There are fewer here, fewer here, fewer here. And this master level is actually the tip where my mouse is actually right at the tip. I want to get you a proficient or above, because there's less people going after those power partners. I'll make clear again, down here, if you have 3 power partners, every person that does what you do, there could be 5 of you in the world, there could be 5,000 of you, they're all going after this group. We want to get you up here where you've climbed above the beginners, and you climb above them and you start going after power partners that they didn't even think of because they didn't buy this program, okay? Competent, you start separating yourself from the competition. Proficient, you start teaching others how to figure out who their power partners are. You become an educator to your clients and to your power partners. You start teaching your power partners how to figure out who their power partners are. Expert, you've had way over 400 one-on-one coffee meetings, 5 a week. Guess how many that is? That's 260 in 1 year. If you only did 5 a week, you've met with 260 people. You've used the elevator speech that I discussed with you, which is CD number 3 in the other program, to program them to find you clients. That's the key. We'll get into it much more in a few webinars from now. I'd love to see you here. You're one of the best known persons in your industry. You are deciding who you want to do business with, not the other way around. Because I'm up here and I've had the 4,000 coffee meetings and have so many referrals coming in, that when I say this to people who are novices or advanced beginners, it sounds arrogant or it sounds like I'm lying. And those of you who know me personally know I'm so not lying. I have way more business than I can handle. I turn away way more people than I take. And I want to get you there. It's not arrogant. What it allows you to do, the more referrals you have coming in, affords you to, number one, decide if you want to hire them, because if they're pardon my French, if they're bitching and complaining about your prices, they show up late, they don't return calls when they're supposed to, they don't make decisions fast enough, send them to someone else. Don't do business with them because they're blood suckers, they're time suckers, they cause stress. Get them out of your life. The only way to get them out of your life and get better clients is to have a ton of referrals. Now, these levels have numbers, and here they are. Again, these are the levels from the bottom to the top. I'm going to start at the bottom. And these numbers you see are the numbers of power partners that you must be able to name to even get into the category. So if you recall, a novice isn't doing much. And those people can name 0 to 4 power partners. An advanced, now you can see bottom 100% means you're on the bottom. The advanced beginner is still at the bottom 90%. At least you're not a cave dweller now. You can name 5 to 14 power partners. The competent, which still puts you at the bottom 60%, can name anywhere from 15 to 20, 25, 28 power partners. Proficiency now, that's to me, that number 30 separates you from almost all of your competition. When you can come up with 30 different power partners, then I think you're proficient. Expert level, you are on another level when you can name 50. And it's the very few who put in the work, and it's a very few. I've only met 3 or 4 people in my life that have done this. My fiance has 162 different power partners, 162 different power partners. She makes a lot of money because of that, and she does 5 to 10 coffee meetings a week. When you can name 100 different power partners, you are so far above anybody who does what you do. If you were doing 5 or 10 coffee meetings a week, it's not possible that you aren't one of the most highly paid people in your industry within 2 years. And I don't care what the industry is, real estate to dog walker. It's not possible if you do what we're going to teach in this course. Now, again, this is I'm not insulting anybody. I'm just saying you have got to put in the work. And it's kind of a joke, but I like using it. It's called networking, not net lazy, not net sit around, not net sit and wait for the phone to ring with customers. You got to figure out who your power partners are, and then you got to go find them. You got to meet with them. That's later on. Right now, today, I want to help you come up with as many as possible. And then you can email me your list. I'll call you on the phone if I need to. But by this time, 2 weeks from now, I want you to have minimum 30 power partners. That's just absolute minimum. You didn't pay me all the money you paid me to have this program to have 10 power partners. That's unacceptable. So let's move forward. Get ready to take some more notes. And then I want you to ask these questions to yourself, and we're going to figure out who your power partners are. I'm going to teach you how to do it. So a major advantage of being highly networked is the more referrals you have coming to you without effort means you can spend more time on customer service and less time on business development. Don't look for clients. Look for power partners. The power partners hand you the clients on a silver platter. Don't look for clients. And if I said it 100 times, some of you are going to still look for clients. Find power partners. I promise you they're out there. I promise you you'll get a ton of business from it. Let's talk about the 3 different types of power partners. Okay. There are some power partners. Let me just read it to you. Some power partners refer to us, but we can't refer to them. There are some we refer to them, but they can't refer to us. And then there are some it's an even reciprocal relationship. We don't care what level it is, okay? There are some people that go, well, I only work with people who can send me business. Why? Who cares if they can send you business? I'm going to remember the goal of power partnering. I'm getting all fired up now. I'm walking around my office. I'm wearing out my shoes. The goal of power partnering is to serve your client with other professionals. The goal of power partnering is to serve your clients with other professionals. When you bring other professionals in to serve your client, the client loves you more. They're going to tell more people about you. Those other professionals you bring in, via the law of reciprocity, you are going to get business from them or from other people. It doesn't have to be directly from them. Here's just some brief examples here. Okay. First one, some power partners refer to us, but we can't refer to them. Financial advisor to a bankruptcy attorney. As a general rule, a BK attorney is not going to refer too much business to a financial advisor, but a financial advisor can refer a ton of business to a BK attorney. If they're filing bankruptcy, they don't have a heck of a lot of money to manage, But the money manager can look at them and go, holy cow, I can't even help you. You're going to need the BK to get out of this hole you're in. Okay. Now, we refer to them, but they can't refer to us. So I think it was Loretta, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Loretta, you pointed this out during my live seminar. So let me explain this a little deeper. We refer to them, but they can't refer to us. Now, Loretta made a good point, and I understand the point, but let me go over it with you. A real estate agent to a carpet cleaner. A real estate agent is generally called in fairly early on in the process. A real estate agent is looking to work with buyers and sellers. Let's just talk about the seller. I do understand that the carpet cleaner is going to clean the carpets to make it look good. It's a little late in the process. So generally a carpet cleaner isn't going to call a real estate agent, go, hey, I got a client that called me. I just cleaned their carpets. They're going to sell their house in 6 months. Normally the carpet cleaner comes in fairly late in the process. So for this example, a real estate agent is going to, I have a real estate agent, one of my groups named Lois, and she's given about 65 carpet cleaning jobs to a carpet cleaner. It's going to be a very, very rare when that person's going to refer back. But that real estate agent's bringing in the carpet cleaner to serve their client. That's the key. And then the easiest one, a 50-50 reciprocity. It's almost like imagine a perfect circle. The financial advisor refers to the banker, or the banker refers to the financial advisor. The CPA refers to the banker. The financial advisor refers to the CPA. It's like this perfect circle. And you can throw a estate planning attorney in there and make an unbelievably beautiful circle, how they're just constantly referring back to each other. That's a 50-50 reciprocity. Again, we don't care if it's 50-50 or if they never send us business. We need certain professionals to send to our clients. Okay. Step by step. This is to figure out who our power partners are. We got to figure out who our perfect client is first. Again, last time I'm going to say this. Watch the elevator speech training part 4 helps you figure out who your client is. Determine who your client is, and then where it says ask the correct questions, you got to ask these correct questions of yourself. Then we're going to use the power partner wheel, and then we're going to make a list. Now, what I'm going to attempt to do is I'll even do this live, and I'm going to unmute each one of you and just do this quickly, okay? But you got to keep doing it after the webinar to really figure this out. So write this down. Write down what your client looks like. Do they have an age range? Do they have a specific title? And do not write the word anyone or anybody. It's impossible for me to help you if you're writing down, oh, I can help anyone. No. So I want you to write down if they have an age range, if they have a specific title, and I'm going to go through some of these slides here to help you. What's their title? Got it, Jen. What's their title? Write it down. What do they look like? What's their title? Here's another one to help you. Specific company size and or number of employees or gross annual revenue. So company size, number of employees, and I'm even going to do a real-time fix here and type that real quick. Look at that. We've just added to a slide here, live and in color. Is there a certain company size, number of employees? If you work on a building, what size building? If you do any kind of coaching or consulting, what's the gross annual revenue or their gross income? You got to write all this down. You got to answer all of this. We have to know everything about this person. Okay. Financial advisors, CPAs, how much do they make? What's their net worth? What are their investable funds? Because Dennis is on today. Dennis is a financial advisor. If they have $3 in the bank, he may not be able to do much with them. Okay, so if Dennis, if you want to work with people that have minimum of 10,000 or minimum of 100,000, write it down. The more specific, the better. Okay, if it's a company, Evelyn's a CPA. Evelyn, I don't even know if you work with individuals or businesses, but if it's an individual, do you work with people who have W-2? Do you like to work with 1099? If you work with businesses, how many employees do they have? Are they alone and they make 10 grand a year, or are they sole proprietor and they make 3 million a year? Do they have 50 employees, 2 employees? There's probably a size that you like to work with. Write it down. Are they hiring or firing employees? I want you to think about this. If they're hiring, they might need a larger location. They might need computers. They might need office equipment, chairs. If they're hiring, they might need to move to a larger location. If they're firing, they might need to go down in size and get a smaller location. But they're going to need a mover. They're going to need staffing. If they're hiring, they might need a staffing professional. You need to refer that to them. Are they merging? If they're thinking about merging or getting bought out, do they need a mergers and acquisition attorney? Do they need a business attorney? Guys, I hope you're writing this down because I'm brainstorming right now out loud for all of you to take this down. Okay? If they're merging, they're going to come up with a new company name. They need a web designer. They need a graphic designer. They need a printer. They need a PR company to announce it. And again, if they're hiring or firing, are they moving up or moving down? A larger location, they need commercial real estate. Smaller location, they still need commercial real estate. Write down the circumstances of your clients. If you're in the health field, the circumstance could be back pain. It could be somebody saying, I don't fit in my clothes anymore. My knee bothers me. My back's bothering me. Whatever it is, write down the circumstances. Okay, you've got to write down as much as you can. The more you write down now, the more power partners we can figure out. Listen for good things like we're hiring employees. We're moving. We're buying a building. We're starting a company. Hiring employees is staffing. Moving is mover, IT, commercial real estate. Buying a building is also commercial real estate. It's IT. It's wiring people. It's electricians. It's builders. It's architects. We're starting a company. Printer, business attorney, business coach, CPA, banker. Write down the good. What are the good things that I'm going to hear that falls into what your client looks like? You're going to want to review this, everyone. You're going to want to go over this and over this and over this. Listen for other good. I'm buying a home. I'm inheriting some money, or I just inherited some money. Buying a home. If you don't know how to answer that one, then we gotta go back to sleep, and then we gotta wake up and drink some coffee. Buying a home, mortgage lender, financial advisor, CPA, handyman, roofer, inspector, painter, carpet cleaning, gardener. I inherited some money, financial advisor, CPA, estate planning attorney. Got to write down the good. I'm getting married, photographer, wedding planner, limo driver, event planner, caterer. My last child's out of the house. I'm an empty nester, real estate agent. Write down the good. Now we get to write down the bad. There's almost always more bad. People complain more than they brag. So now I want you to think about the complaints. Okay? I'll go through this, and I'm going to look at what each one of you do on the screen here, and I'm going to give you some ideas. The bad. Our company has horrible insurance. Our benefits package is horrible. Man, I'm paying way too much in taxes. I have no idea how I'm ever going to retire. Let me back up. Our company has horrible insurance. Introduce them to a benefits insurance person. Okay, I'm paying way too much in taxes. Financial advisor, financial strategist, CPA, just to name a few, banker. I have no idea how I'm ever going to retire. Financial advisor. Oh, I can't pay my bills. Oh my God, I can't pay my bills. That could be somebody looking for alternative side opportunities. There are some of you on this call right now that do network marketing. They can do that on the side. So if somebody says, I can't pay my bills, they're looking to make a little extra money. Okay? Maybe they need a side opportunity. I'm behind on a mortgage. Maybe they need to short sell their house. Maybe they need to talk with a mortgage lender. Maybe they just have an unbelievably crazy bad rate and they can refinance the house. Write down what the bad is for you. I always have headaches. I always have headaches. Chiropractor, acupuncturist, fitness trainer. I need to lose weight. Again, same thing. Fitness trainer, dietitian, whatever it is. Think about what it is for you. My biggest challenge is coming up with all the different ones because there's so many different people on here, but what are the complaints going to be? What are people going to complain about? That matches what you do for a living. Now, there are a number of you on the webinar that do 2 or 3 different things. You have got to come up with completely separate lists. And just an example, Bonnie, when you're dealing with with Legal Shield, that's a whole completely different list. Now, you're going to go to some networking events. You cannot, I'm just going to tell you guys, this is strictly my opinion. For Loretta and anybody else who's doing 2 different things, you cannot talk about both in an event because people are going to go, what are you good at? What are you an expert at? I'm confused. I want you to remember this. I want you to listen closely. The confused mind does not buy. The confused mind does not buy. You can't walk up to somebody and tell them you do different things. The second you do that, their mind shuts off. So you go to a certain event and you talk about, there's more business-related people than Bonnie and Loretta. You're going to talk about embroidery and Legal Shield. Okay, Bonnie, if you go where there's a lot of building owners or homeowners, and I'm looking at you do more on the commercial side, so where there's a lot of building owners and business owners, then you'll do the utility power solutions. Loretta, if you go where it's a little bit more health-oriented, fitness-based, there's people selling clothes, jewelry, makeup, then you're going to do VI. You got to know your audience before you go there and you pick the wrong thing. Okay, I'm not saying don't do 2. I'm saying don't discuss 2 at any one particular event because I just want you to always remember that the confused mind does not buy. And by accident, you're confusing them. Okay, so that's what this was for. We need to know who has your client, okay? Okay, so just to help you out here, I hope you guys are writing because we're coming up with a lot of industries here, and most of the ones I name work for almost all of you. Loretta, on the embroidery side, okay, Power Partnering is going to go, let me see if you typed exactly. This is going to be a lot of this I'm going to be able to do one-on-one with you guys as part of the coaching. Let me just take a look here. If Loretta, if I have it. If I don't worry about it, guys. Okay, so Loretta is doing gifts, personalized embroidery for businesses, clubs, teams, and more. Okay, so if you're doing embroidery for business, maybe it's even a restaurant. Loretta, let's just play with restaurant. Because if I could spend an hour on each one of you, we don't have that kind of time. Loretta, let's just say you're doing a restaurant for fun, okay? And every employee there has a custom embroidered shirt or 3 or 4. I want you to ask yourself this question. Who calls on restaurants? And I want you to write down every single person that sells to a restaurant. The vendor, the people that sell the food, the people that sell restaurant furniture, okay? People that do merchant services. They sell credit card machines. They sell credit card machines to the people that own the restaurants. Guys, I'm doing this for Loretta. A lot of these are for you, so I hope you're writing them. Okay, Loretta, commercial alarm companies. Okay, just think about a restaurant. There's people that go in there and have 300 restaurants as a client. They fix the refrigerators. There are companies that specialize in cleaning restaurants. They have hundreds of restaurants as clients. Okay, that'll get you going. Okay, Dennis, financial advisor. Dennis, if you call on individuals and it's regarding their individual finances, estate planning attorney, business attorney, CPA, banker. I'm trying to get a little bit outside the box here. Real estate agent, mortgage lender. Okay, if you work with businesses, consulting them on their financials for businesses, I want you to think about the business owner, and then I want you to think about all the people that consult them. They sell software. They sell life insurance. Again, merchant services, business coaches, people that fix computers, computer IT guys, web designers have hundreds of clients, business owners, printers, public relation companies. That'll get you going, okay? Lynn, Jen, I don't think you need my, Jen's got so many. I don't think Jen Lee needs my help. Jen, if you need my help next time over your house having a glass of wine, we'll talk about it. Lynn Dykstra. Lynn, let me see what Lynn typed. Lynn put, her niches are business associations and groups. So Lynn, if you want to do a big giant group, take a picture of all the people at a church. And then I want you to think about who calls on a church. Nonprofit associations work with multiple churches. Who else works with groups? Believe it or not, limo drivers, business coaches, commercial real estate, work with a lot of business owners. Lynn, almost everything I named so far is a power partner for you because they call in business owners. Commercial insurance, benefits brokers, they all call on business owners. And just about every industry I've named is for you, Lynn. Bonnie, pretty much the same for you. And then on utility power solutions side, commercial real estate, HVAC, computer IT, architects, commercial alarm people. No problem. Lynn said Fortune 500 companies, so let's go back to the photography real quick. Lynn, just ask yourself who calls on them. Software vendors. There are people who go into those companies and sell all their office supplies. They go in there and they water the plants. Temporary staffing firms, when a secretary's out on leave, pregnant, going on vacation, temporary staffing firms go in and staff those people. They have got hundreds of clients. There aren't a ton of Fortune 500 companies right here in the 680 corridor. In fact, I don't think there are too many. But there might be. But you want to think on, so Lynn, what you need to do with the Fortune 500, let me just back up real quick. You need to figure out who, and I need to slow down too. Lynn, you need to figure out who is going to hire you, who at the company is going to write the check and or bring you in to interview you. It's certainly not the CEO. It's either the buyer, it's probably somebody in the buying department, or if they have a marketing department, somebody in the marketing department. Who else calls on people in the marketing department? Printers, writers, public relations firm, if they use an outside public relation firm. If it's a buyer, all the vendors, software, again, even the water people. Just start to think about who calls on the same person. Commercial real estate. Evelyn, CPA. Evelyn, if you work with individuals, again, we've covered it. Financial advisor, banker. And then if you work with business owners, then just write down every single thing that we've named the last 15 minutes or so. Okay, so you all should have now easily 10 or 15 power partners by now. Okay, so now we're going to ask this question: who do you? This just sets it completely on its head. So what we just did this whole time was we thought about who has your client, which is the selfish side. Who has your client? So I want you to look at the list in the very beginning and listen for the good and listen for the bad. And every one of those answers you put, look at it and go, who could I refer to them? Who could I refer to them? Who could I refer to them? And then on this one, who do you need to refer to your clients? And then the list might change. And then you start going, oh, because what this does, the last 15 minutes or so, we talked about who has your client, who could bring you in to serve their client. This flips it on its head and says, forget about that. Who does my client need? Who does my client need? So I'm going to go back, Loretta. Sometimes the answer is the same, but for the embroidery side, if you meet with a client and it's an athletic team or a church, and they say, oh, you know, we're tight on funds. You might need to introduce them to a nonprofit organization that specializes in helping nonprofits get more money. They might need that. They might be thinking of a big trip to go on. I know a travel agent, and he sends big church groups on trips. My daughter, when her class goes to the zoo, they all have custom shirts made so nobody gets lost at the zoo. So if you hear, oh, we're going to get these shirts done and we're going to have a big event, or we're going to all take a trip, you should be referring them to an event planner. Dennis meets with somebody, and hey, Dennis, I want to talk to you. I'm thinking about starting a new business. Then Dennis refers to them a printer, a business coach, a business strategist, and a CPA, and a web designer. Lynn's a photographer for corporate, big corporate. She goes in there, yeah, you know, we're taking pictures of the officers, and we're going to put those pictures on the wall throughout the company. Then, Lynn, your job is to refer them to a frame shop, a company that can frame these and put them on the walls. That's your job, okay? Let's see here. Bonnie with Legal Shield, you meet with them, and they're starting a business. They're not doing well. They're worrying about being sued. And then on the utility power side, holy cow, our energy bills are through the roof. They might need their HVAC looked at also, not on top of the fact that they're spending too much on electricity. They might need their heating and air conditioning, because I'll tell you right now, if the filters on the roof are dirty, that could double or triple their electricity bill also. So it's your job to bring in electrician, HVAC. And Evelyn, again, yours is the same as Dennis. Somebody's talking about starting a business. It's your job to refer those people to them. Now, real quick, I'm going to read all this stuff. Hey, guys, do me a favor when you're typing on the screen. Try to shorten it a little bit, because it's like I got a page and a half of stuff here. Let me just look at it real quick. So Bonnie calls on CFOs and financial officers in companies, and they do 5 to 150,000 utility expenditures. Yeah. So I know a guy that does HVAC. He puts those big units on the roof that are dropped, with helicopters. You're going to want to hook up with guys like that. Big commercial real estate agents. Let's see here. Yep, and then Lynn, individuals, entrepreneurs, and business owners, just continually ask yourself, who calls on them, and who could I refer to them? So I hope a little thing like just coming up with a framer helps. But we named a lot of industries here today. You need to sit down and brainstorm, and who has my client, and who do I need to refer to my client? One of the last questions I want you to ask yourself, who are my competitors? And I want you to name as many different industries as you possibly can that are competitors, that kind of do what you do. Okay? So, Loretta, other companies, because here's why. Just for Loretta, on the embroidery side, somebody's going to get an order that they can't fulfill because their equipment won't do it quick enough. They'll farm some of it to you, and then you can help them fulfill the order. Okay, I know many companies that have done that. Exactly what you do, that they farmed it out. On the Body by Vice side, I want you to think of other people that sell anything to do with, I want you to think of anybody that has anything to do with weight loss, with health. When people are complaining, oh my God, I have these supplements, and geez, they cost a lot of money. Holy cow. Think about that, and you know, think about those industries. Dennis, guaranteed there are other financial advisors that you could refer business to, and that they could refer business to you, because not everybody wants a financial advisor that takes a commission on money under management. And I know you're the opposite, where you're more on the planning side. So there are going to be people who don't want to use you. Refer them to another financial advisor. There's nothing wrong with that. And then you can get financial advisors send you business by doing that. Lynn, guaranteed a photographer is going to get a phone call, and it's going to be, I need some corporate photos taken, and the person's going to go, I'm sorry, I only do weddings. If that wedding photographer knew you, they would be able to refer that person to you. There are hundreds of your competitors out there that don't specialize in the exact same thing you do, so start writing down who are your competitors. Bonnie, just write down every kind of attorney you can, payroll reps, insurance reps, business coaches, electricians. Start writing down who all your competitors are, and that'll almost double your list sometimes. Evelyn, if you do individuals, there are CPAs who don't. If you do big companies, there are CPAs who do individuals. If you do medium size, there's still people out there that specialize in what you don't. And I want you guys to always think about staying in your niche. Don't serve people that are too small or too big because you can't handle it. Okay, so I want you to think about who your competitors are. One of the last slides, guys, I had no idea this webinar was going to go over an hour. I thought it'd go like 40 minutes. The top of this wheel is the key to figuring out who your power partners are. Okay, you're going to put your industry on the top. And then I want you to look at all the questions I had you write down. And I'm going to use, Loretta, I'm just going to show you guys how this wheel is used. So Loretta right here is going to put embroidery. And then all of those questions are going to be here. You're going to have group. You're going to have the size of the company. You're going to have the person you call on. And then you're going to ask yourself questions. You're going to look at it and you go, groups. Who else serves groups? And you're going to start putting industries in here, in this wheel. Nonprofits, business coaches. That one takes a little work, but you got to think about it. Who calls on groups? And fill this in. And then a body by Vi side, that one you'll come up with the list a little quicker in the beginning. Body by Vi. Think about the different ailments that people have, whether it's put on muscle, lose weight, gain weight, and I want you to put those in here. And the first one says put on muscle. This circle, fitness trainer, fitness coach, an athletic store. Loretta, if you can get your business cards on display at a store where they sell running shoes, and if you've gotten 5 or 6 athletic stores and they had your Body by Vi on display right next to the cash register, you just focus on doing that for the next couple months. You'll double, triple, quadruple your business with that one idea. Okay, so I want you to put industries in your chiropractor, acupuncturist, massage. People who do Rolfing and Bowen because it's more of an athletic type of massage. Dentist, there you are. If it's individuals, estate planning attorney, bankruptcy attorney, if it's business owners, business coach, payroll, name every kind of attorney you possibly can. Just see how many times you can fill this wheel. Put every person in here you can think of, and then put, what am I going to hear? Remember the lose weight, gain weight, inherited money, losing money, moving, whatever it is for you, it's all got to go in here. You look at each one at a time, and you go, who would know that? Fill it in. Second one, who would know that? Fill it in. Who are my competitors? Fill it in. Fill this wheel 3 or 4 or 5 times. Bonnie, person who owns a building of XYZ side commercial real estate. If it's the CFO or the buyer, software vendors, financial analysts, bankers, venture capitalists, and you just got to start filling it in, okay? And then Evelyn, CPA, by the time I get down to you, Evelyn, it's pretty easy because I've already covered it. If you're working with individuals, you got to write down who else works with them. Guys, just use this wheel. Put every circumstance for answer for every question we covered in this entire webinar. Put it in here. And then start only with the first one and exhaust all of your ideas. Go to the next one. Exhaust everything you can think of. Go to the next one. And by the time you're done with those questions that we, in the middle of this webinar, you should have 15 to 40 different power partners, okay? I'm not going to unmute you because we've gone way longer than I thought. I want you to come up with the list. You can email me the list if you'd like, and I'll help you. Try to come up with, in the next 2 weeks, try to come up with at least 50 power partners. Not 15, 50 power partners. The bigger the list, the more I can help you. Okay, come up with as many as you possibly can. Now, before you all sign off, I'm going to stop the recording now, and then if you have any questions, I want you to type it on the screen, and then I will help you live. So thanks for being on. I'm going to stop the recording, and then I'm going to work with you guys live if you have any questions. So if you have questions, type them now. I hope you enjoyed the second webinar. This is the master key to figure out who your power partners are. Come up with as many as you can. Thanks for being on. Feel free to contact me anytime. Okay, I'm going to stop the recording now, and then I'll answer your questions, okay?